When I first started working with users in Linux, I was so confused by the adduser and Useradd commands. It's a pretty common thing for there to be more than one way to do the same thing in Linux. I've said it before and I'll definitely say it again. In Linux, when it comes to completing any task, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. This is B from Tay Talk Tech, and today I'm going to explain the difference between the Useradd and adduser commands, so stick with me. I've got a favor to ask. If you like this type of video and want to see more content like it, make sure you are subscribed and hit the bell button for notifications. Also, don't forget to give this video a like if you like it, give it a dislike if you didn't like it. Make sure you let me know what you liked, didn't like, or if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or emotional offers down in the comments below. And lastly, make sure that you stick around all the way to the end to catch the examples. Let's do this thing. I'm going to go ahead and shrink my face here just so we can go ahead and get a little more real estate on screen. Let me just blow this up as well a bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm just going to do a user add tech help. You can see there's tons of different informations. These two commands I'm actually not going to be going over in detail. Just wanted to actually have that there on screen if you wanted to just kind of look at it while we're having this conversation. So the Useradd command is available pretty much in every Linux distribution. It allows you to add a user and set different options for that user. You can set options such as the shell and if a home directory will be created for them. Keep in mind the defaults will vary from distribution to distribution, so they're not going to always be the same. And you can always go to give me just a second, I'll actually show it to you. Sudo cat etc default Useradd. This right here is actually going to be the default configuration file for the Useradd command. We can see on this particular system, this is Ubuntu server. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. This is a Raspberry Pi. We can see right here that on this particular file, all these other ones have the hashtag symbol there, so they're not actually going to be set. And this one only has the bin bash, the shell set as bin bash. So what that means is that it's going to set the default shell as bin bash, which is pretty much what it is for most distributions, and the one that you're probably most commonly interacting with when you're using your Linux system. So yeah, so let's actually get into the command. Let me go ahead and just clear this out. And let's do a sudo user add, and then we're going to do tac m, and then we're going to do tac s, and then we're going to do, actually no, let's just do bin shell, and then we're going to do user one. So what's happening here is we're invoking the user add command to go and add that user. The tac m creates the home directory. Tac s allows you to set the shell, and then we're going to set it to bin shell on this one. And if you're not familiar with the difference between bash and shell, is the shell is really kind of like more of a stripped down version of bash. It doesn't have as many features and stuff like that. So that's just kind of a summary there. So let's go ahead and hit enter. And we can see once we actually execute that, we get no output. So it's like, okay, well, did it execute? So let's go ahead and do a sudo let's do a sudo tail tac1 etc password. And the etc password file is where you'll be able to see users on a Linux system. And we can see here, we have user one here, and yep, it's been set as bin shell. We've got their home folder right there. So pretty cool. So now the other command that you have is let's clear this out. You have add user tac help. And you're actually going to have less output here, less different options and stuff like that as far as the adducer command goes. Now the adducer command is an interactive front end for the Useradd command. Not all distributions will have this by default. I did test it on many common distributions and found it on all of them, so there's a good chance that it will be present. But keep in mind this could change if you're doing this in a business or enterprise environment. Same rules will apply as far as defaults go for the Useradd command. Now let's go ahead and actually get in here and just show an example of this command. So we're going to do sudo add user, and then what you're going to see here is we're going to do user 2, and it's going to give us some output here. So we can see that when we set the command, is it said, hey, adding user 2, adding new group user 2, adding new user 2 with group user 2, creating the home directory, and then copying files from the etc. Etc is like a place where you can put files that'll be kind of given to everybody when a user created. So that's not something I'm going to cover in this video, but I just wanted to kind of give you just a brief explanation just because it is there on the screen. And one of the things that you'll probably notice is that you never got like a enter new password prompt or anything like that when you were using the Useradd command, and that's because it doesn't do that. you have to go in there and you would actually have to change your password using the passwd command, which I'm not going to get into here, but you would have to manually go ahead and do that. And if you didn't set those parameters for adding the home directories, you'd have to go in there and create a home directory for them. And it should be a little tedious and stuff like that. But the cool thing is about using the Useradd command is that you'll have a lot of control over kind of customizing what you want to do for each individual user. So really, it's going to be down to what do you want to accomplish and how do you want to go about accomplishing that. Now, let's go ahead and set the password here. All right, there we go. Password updated successfully, creating the user information for user 2, and it's going to allow you to put in some information for the user, including full name, room number, work phone. We're just going to do ones for all of these, other, and then yes. Let me show you something here. So let's go back and do the tail command again. We can see here that it did create our user, and it also put all that information we filled out here in this section. So this could be a great way, if you have a small business and you're using Linux in that environment, maybe you want to keep track of things about each user, you could do that here. That's not something I've ever actually done. I've never felt the need to use that. So, but whatever is going to work for whatever you're trying to accomplish. So, again, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So, all right, there we go. Oh, and the other thing is that I wanted to point out here is that we get a lot more verbose output. So we can see as we're going through it through the adducer command, it's giving us like, oh hey, this is being done, that's being done, and all that stuff. So pretty cool, right? Yeah, that's the difference between the Useradd and adducers command. If you like this video, make sure you go check out this other video from my channel as well. Thank you so much for watching my video, and have the greatest of days.